Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as usual, we're going to be taking a look at Tesla. Let's see what happened today and what we can expect to finish off the week tomorrow. The reason I didn't upload a video yesterday, by the way, in case you're wondering, is because I actually had a dentist appointment. So it pretty much was like right in the middle or right as the market closed. I was still at the dentist office. So I thought, you know what, we'll skip a day, not a big deal. But nonetheless, let's go over Tesla today. So Tesla ending the day down once again, another only 1.76%, closing off at $673.42, which isn't all that bad. So let's take a quick look. So the biggest thing that I don't know why this drawing is not here. Maybe on the daily. There it is. I was on the wrong time frame. So the biggest thing is, of course, the VIX, right? The most important thing, like I always say, is you want to see how the VIX is performing, because this is a not decent, actually, a very good indicator as to whether or not, essentially, the market is going to go up or down, or at least the ones that apparently we care about, for instance, Tesla. Right, so you want to always pay attention to the VIX. It's really important. But nonetheless, Tesla ending the day in a decent spot. And the reason is because there's somewhat of a bullish signal here, and I'll explain what that is very, very soon. But ultimately, what I personally see at the moment on like the 15-minute chart is a potential inverted head and shoulders. We have a shoulder, the two bottoms in the same spot with the, the head, of course, going a bit lower. That's the inverted head and shoulders. We've talked about it several times. So it could be a small little inverted head and shoulders being played out over here, which could potentially lead us somewhere up to potentially close to like maybe, honestly, as high as 720, I would even say. So if this plays out, and essentially if we can break out of this kind of pretty much 690 level, I wouldn't be surprised if this pushes us up to around maybe as high as 720. And then, of course, we'll see what happens there. If we can break above at some point 730, if we can break back above 730 on this push that's potentially coming up, then that's fantastic. That would actually potentially, we can start actually discussing once again, visiting these highs that I was talking about over here for this bear flag that we're still kind of in, or not kind of in, that we are quite literally still in. That's still a possibility. Now, a bullish signal that I was also talking about is this candle right here. Now, it doesn't really matter too much if it's red or green, because the idea behind this kind of candle is when the closing price and the opening price are like literally like this, like pretty much on top of each other. We pretty much close exactly where we opened, essentially, more or less, right? When it's like this and you pretty much can't even see the candle, that's a really good sign. That usually is a sign of a reversal. And in this case, because we are currently in a downtrend, essentially 4 red days in a row, that is a sign of a potential reversal coming up as well, because it shows indecisiveness, but it also shows that the trend is going to be potentially swapping over here. Of course, nothing is guaranteed. It doesn't mean that this is 100% guaranteed that, we're going to start shooting up. Absolutely not. You can't take anything for granted in this kind of market, as I'm sure you guys have learned, hopefully. But that is a sign of a potential reversal setting up here, which is going to be fantastic. So I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow is a green day. You never know. Of course, I'm usually bearish on Fridays, but not every single Friday is bearish, because that would be too easy. So with that being said, wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow is going to be a potential green day up to those levels that I mentioned, potentially up to 720. Another way to determine how potentially far we can go is, of course, looking at the indicators that we are currently under. So we have the 21 EMA sitting at 707 pretty much. We have the Bollinger Band sitting at exactly at 700. We have let's go ahead and remove this, the 10-day moving average sitting at currently, what is that, 694. And then we have the 5-day moving average sitting even higher at 705. So essentially around that kind of, low 700 area, we have a lot of our major indicators that we care about for the short-term movement, pretty much all in that general same level. So I wouldn't be surprised if we rally up probably to retest somewhere around that, around that low 700 level. We test all of those indicators once again, maybe get lucky and potentially go up to 720. It's possible, but if we can go up to 720 and especially break 730, then we're potentially back in a actual short-term upswing. So those are the levels you want to watch for if you want to have any hope at this still going up to potentially around this kind of almost 800 level. Not impossible, though. Of course, this kind of fall does make it slightly less likely. But on the bright side, even though we did fall this low, we are still technically setting a higher low, because we fell all the way down here, then a higher low. If we do reverse here, this will be another higher low as well. So we'll see what happens with that. That's something to keep in mind, though. I would be surprised if we go above 720. I would honestly be surprised if we even go above these major indicators that I talked about, somewhere around this like 710 more or less ish area. So those are the major things I would personally be looking for. In terms of the downside, though, like what do we not want to see in terms of breaking to the downside? Well, first and foremost, we essentially don't want to see a break of this kind of like 666 rough level. The fact that that's even a support is kind of hilarious, but 666 is actually a support in this case. So we don't want to drop below that once again. If we do, then this head and shoulders that we're setting up essentially falls apart. We definitely don't want to be seeing that. That would be pretty bad news. Another thing that's setting up is a bullish divergence on this 15-minute chart, which is showing some potential for a reversal. As you can see, we dropped all the way down to 666 over here. The RSI essentially dropped down to like the very low 20s. Then we dropped even lower to around 656. RSI didn't drop lower. It actually sitting at like 29. So even though the chart went lower, the RSI is going higher, and then we kind of went up to the same level. You can see here, it's almost like setting up its own little inverted head and shoulders sort of. But nonetheless, as we went back up to this same level, it did go up to the same level. However, when we dropped to the same level, it didn't go anywhere near as low as we were here on the RSI back at this kind of 666 level. So the RSI is showing a potential, bullish divergence setting up over here, which is great. But nonetheless, guys, personally, if I were to be kind of taking, I guess, a guess, if you will, as to what this is going to turn out to be, I would pretty much guess that this is going to most likely rally to around that 700 to 720 level, somewhere in that range, probably get rejected somewhere in that range, and then ultimately we're going to fall back down to set a lower low. So that is my current projection. That is what I'm currently thinking, and that is my current analysis. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys enjoy, don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.